We're going to devote the entire next hour to a single interview, something we've never done before. In this case, it's a conversation with a man called Tony Bobulinski. Bobulinski is the former business partner of James and Hunter Biden, of course, the brother and the son of the current Democratic candidate. A lot has been written about Hunter and James Biden recently, but our story is not about them tonight, sleazy and shocking as some of those details are. The story we're about to tell you is instead about Joe Biden, the man who just days from now could be elected president of the United States. Joe Biden, and we can tell you this with certainty, had direct personal involvement with his family's business dealings in communist China and likely in other countries as well. The former vice president, of course, has vehemently denied that. He is lying. Tonight we can prove that. Before we begin, a word about Tony Bobulinski. Bobulinski is not a conventional whistleblower. He has no political agenda. To the extent he has supported candidates in the past, he's given exclusively to Democrats. Nor is he seeking money now from this story. This is not a shakedown of the Bidens or of anyone else. Bobulinski is already rich, significantly rich. He is a significant figure in American finance. And that's exactly why the Biden family sought him out in the first place. They had no idea how to structure the deals they hoped to cash in on, so they enlisted Tony Bobulinski to do it for them, to do the math. Now they're attacking him as an agent of Russian disinformation. And that's why Bobulinski is appearing on this show. It is an effort to clear his family's name of that slur. He had no choice. The rest of the national media have suppressed his story. Reporters have ignored, intentionally ignored, and in many cases dishonestly distorted scores of documents proving that Bobulinski's account is true. Never in American history have more power centers in this country aligned to kill a legitimate news story in the days before an election.
Okay, so that was obviously Tucker's intro last night, and then the entire hour, as he said, he's never done it before, was the interview with Tony Bobulinski. You can find the interview either on the Fox website or you can see the clips all over Twitter and everywhere else. But I wanted to play that actually because the essence of it is right there. That this guy is not in it for the money. He's very wealthy. That's why the Bidens brought him in. All of that, and look. Everyone can whittle this down to, okay, Biden may be a corrupt politician and everybody's corrupt and they all do these things, and Hunter Biden and all the money he was getting from Burisma with no expertise in oil and energy and all of these things. And I think partly in a certain way, when people are locked at home and your job and the country feels like it's like in a very tenuous position, that maybe this story doesn't get a certain amount of the coverage that it would get in normal times. And maybe some of that at some level is actually warranted because we have problems that are like literally in our home right now. However, the idea that the media is going to ignore this because it hurts Biden when we know, I mean, really try to think this through. If this was reversed, if it turned out that Donald Trump Jr., Donald Trump's son, had business contacts with a Chinese firm, and there were audio tapes of saying, in essence, you're going to bury us if you release all of this. And Donald Trump Jr. had no expertise in any of the things that he was getting paid for and all of this. Do you think the media would be running with it? Yes or no? I mean, the obvious answer is yes. Let's not forget there was a week about a year and a half ago where everyone was freaking out because Donald Trump Jr. had 15-minute lunch or meeting on the Upper East Side with a Russian. And of course, it turned out to be nothing. So again, what we all want, what thinking people want is an honest, decent, nonpartisan media. And we just don't have it anymore. And in many ways, that, I think, is sort of the driver behind a lot of the Trump campaign for the people that don't necessarily consider themselves traditional conservatives, or for the people that have certain reservations about Trump. That's totally legit. But people want the mainstream media destroyed, and it should be destroyed. This shouldn't be left to Tucker Carlson having to do an hour with this guy, and then only right-wing media push this on Twitter, but that is what it's left with. And then what you'll get actually is the complete reverse. So the New York Times might write a story about it, but they'll write a story about it how it's part of the right-wing misinformation network. They'll never actually address whether any of it's actually true. And we know that if the shoe was on the other foot, that they would obviously be running with it if it could take down Donald Trump.